Hi, we're Mike and Cindy.
We decided to go full-time in our RV in 2021. We sold everything and hit the road. We've been on the road traveling ever since and enjoyed every minute.
Every minute of it, and we're At Last Just Us. At Last Just Us is not just us, but it's all of you as well. So welcome aboard.
Welcome aboard.
Good morning, y'all, and welcome to this week's edition of Chat Locker. And what we try to do is answer the most asked questions that we have along the way.
And this week we're going to be talking about a question that we get asked pretty often, and it's what are the best and worst things you enjoy about RVing or don't. So the first thing we did, I put some bullet points here because there were so many we could talk about, but I just put 4 for the best and 3 for the worst that we could think of. So the first best one is the people we've met along our journey and the lifelong friends we've made along the way. That has been incredible. If it wasn't for the people that we meet, I don't even know. Well, there's so many things that's worth it, but the people are amazing, and we have enjoyed every single one.
Yeah, you know, the sense one of the important things that we found about being full-time RV is the need for sense of community, and we've absolutely found that along the way. And you know, it hasn't been so much of people reaching out to us, although they have. It's like taking that risk and reaching out to them. The lifelong friends that we've made, going on trips together, caravanning, and those things have just been incredible. So yeah.
Okay, so you want to do number 2?
Okay, yeah, number 2, places around the country that we've been able to visit and explore. Now, we have been on an amazing journey. And for instance, last summer, it was just totally epic. And we made a number of videos about it. And we started out at Mount Rushmore in our home base area in Rapid City, South Dakota. Went over to Devil's Tower in Wyoming, spent some time there, then went up to North Dakota to Medora.
Oh my gosh, and then after that we started going across Montana, and we stayed in several little towns along the way. We were waiting to meet up with some friends that we're going to explore a glacier with. So all these little towns, they all had their own museums, and we learned so much about their history, how they got to be, and why they are still there, because they look like there's nothing there, but it's, you know, it's just a beautiful little community, and we've talked to so many wonderful people. So that's been pretty amazing.
You know, it kind of helped us grow along the way too. We'd never been much for visiting small town museums, but we're really glad that we did in that, because we learned so much history, not only about the area, locally, regionally, and nationally from these small museums along the way. We met up with our friends in Shelby, Montana, and again, we have some videos about that. And from there, we caravanned together over to Glacier. We spent 2 weeks in the Glacier area, and I'm going to tell you something. Talk about bucket list. Absolutely stunning area. If you haven't, you need to put that on your list. If you have, then you know what we're talking about.
Yes, it was amazing, totally amazing. And then we also went to the Grand Tetons, and
that was stunning.
That was gorgeous and beautiful, and went across Jenny Lake. And hiked up in the mountains on that side, on the other side.
Yeah, Hidden Falls.
Yeah, Hidden Falls. It was so pretty. I mean, it was just, we have just seen so many wonderful places, and met up with friends we hadn't seen in a long time, and it's been so fun. Yeah,
that we can't probably overemphasize how much more complete you feel with a sense of community when full-time RVing.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's just a sample of a couple of places. That's just this past fall. I mean, we're headed to Nova Scotia this spring and summer. So more to be revealed on that one.
Yeah,
absolutely.
We're excited about that trip too. We've never been up the East Coast, so that's going to be fun. So the third thing is seeing family and friends that we hadn't seen in years, and there's been so many.
Yeah.
Some family we hadn't seen in 10, 15 years, some of them longer. Mike's got family in Texas, and we finally got to see them, 20 years probably.
Yeah.
And we so enjoyed that. It was so much fun. And then our family in Arkansas we hadn't seen in probably 15 years. So just those few
Yeah.
things and so much more, because there's so many friends that we got to see as well as family. So
Yeah,
it's
so
very
you know,
cool.
rekindling those family connections in a new and fresh way than ever before has been really amazing, and
Yeah.
you know, and we've enjoyed that.
Yeah, and it's been so much fun. It's been so much fun to reconnect. I can't even explain it. You know,
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
it's kind of overwhelming.
So the next one is, we get asked a lot about all the wildlife we've gotten to see in our journey, and that's been, we intentionally go places to see the wildlife. And I'll tell you, whether it's you know, the American bison, aka buffalo as we know them,
Yes.
up in you know, Rapid City in the Custer area of South Dakota, or Yellowstone, to the pronghorn along the way. Then we saw in Glacier,
We saw deer and elk.
grizzly bear,
Grizzly
black bear. You know, it was just amazing. And always reminding folks, be cautious about wildlife. You need to keep your distance.
Yes.
And don't try to get a selfie with a 1,500-pound buffalo or an 800-pound black bear. Probably not the thing to do.
Don't do that.
But the wildlife, yeah, the wildlife has just been stunning. You know, down here in Florida, the sandhill cranes and their babies and the migration, and they're just majestic and beautiful. But yeah, the ibis that are right out here in the yard right now, walking around. So the wildlife has just been incredible.
Yeah, we have so enjoyed the wildlife. It's just, it just kind of fills our soul, you know, to be able to see and experience, you know, their journey in life. Like the ibis, right, like Mike was saying, the ibis right here that are just out there eating their lunch, the bugs in the grass, and just watching them. It's just, it's amazing. So it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. Okay, what's next on our list?
Okay, next we go to the worst. So that's the next page over. Okay.
You know, we really had to kind of dig on this. There are a few things that stood out, but one thing about it, in the best and in the worst, that's such a black and white statement. But you know what? It's like, if you're flexible in this journey, and there's a strong need to be flexible, because you never know what's going to happen next. You can prepare for so much, but you never know. But there were a few things that stood out. So,
okay, so the first one is campground surprises. If you book a campground that you researched and knew that it was full hookups, and you get there and you don't have a full hookup site. And our rig is set up for boondocking, but we need to know all of our tanks need to be empty for boondocking except for our fresh water, which needs to be full. And we usually do not travel with fresh water full if we're going to be in a campground, because we are hooked up to water there. So we need to know those things. It's important.
yeah, you know, and you get surprises, and you make do. And also too, you know, it's been kind of interesting that you know, the initial sites. There's been a lot of times we've requested and been accommodated to change sites along the way if our rig just didn't fit, or if the mud was too severe. We really, you know, are not much for being in mud. I mean, you have to do what you have to do. But the surprises along the way, and you think you're going to roll into a campsite, and it ends up that maybe 3 to 4 hours later, after looking at 5 or 6 different sites, you finally get a place. But all in all, we found the staff, for the most part, to be really helpful in most, if not all, of the campgrounds that we've gone to. And by the way, don't let the word resort fool you. That word gets thrown around a lot.
Yeah, and everyone that we've gone to that says resort, no way.
Probably not so much.
But there are some really nice ones, like the one we're in right now in Florida. So we've been to some really nice resorts too.
Yeah. So what's next?
Well, we pretty much covered poorly kept RV parks.
Poorly
That was
kept
good.
RV
So that was
parks.
kind of with the mud and all that kind of stuff, which I'm not a fan of. Being in the middle, just because there's the drainage systems they have there sometimes are really poor.
Yeah.
So that floods your area, and it's pretty gnarly.
Yeah, you know, you do the best that you can to keep the inside of your rig clean, and you know, and keeping things clean. But let's face it, things don't stay clean, you do the best that you can, and don't stress over it. Don't stress over it. You just do the best that you can.
That's all you can do.
Now this next one is almost a pet peeve because it probably doesn't have to be like that, and it's the cost of diesel. All right, the cost of diesel. When you roll up into a station, and we use open roads, so we go to a lot of truck stops and get some really decent discounts. But you roll up into a station and you see regular gas for $3.20, $3.40, or Supreme for $3.60, but then diesel's $4.10. And again, we're in March of 2024 right now, so goodness knows what the diesel prices will be when you see this video, if you see it down the road. But we have found that being in the 1,000 Trails in the Encore system, using our Adventure Pass and our Trails Plus collection, we've really found that we can save money because really campgrounds are the only place that you can save money along the way.
Yeah.
They're so pricey. But the cost of diesel, can't avoid it. Kind of like the cost of groceries.
That's another one.
That's another one. And I mean, let's face it, grocery prices are up because the cost of delivery prices from the farm to the store is diesel.
Yep.
And that's what it takes. That's what it takes to farm. That's what it takes to process. That's what it takes to deliver.
Yeah.
And these prices are so high. But again, with 1,000 Trails, we save a lot on the campgrounds if we're in the area where we can use a 1,000 Trails campground. So anyway, that's really, I don't know, can you think of anything else as far as on pluses or minuses?
I mean, I'm sure there is some, but so many thoughts go through our heads sometimes, and it's kind of hard to put it all together in spur of the moment.
Yeah,
You gotta think it through, but
Yeah.
there are so many. I mean, we have just loved full-time RVing, and we don't regret it, not for a minute.
Yeah, there's no regrets at all with it, and the thing is, it's like, this is probably why it's so really challenging to come up with pet peeves or things that we don't really like, because the things that we like far outweigh the things that we don't like.
Oh, absolutely.
This lifestyle is not for everyone, but for us, it's worked really well, and we hope that it will for you too. Again, feel free to ask questions. Put your questions in the comments, and if you like this, please go up there, check that like button, and please subscribe. And we'll try to get to this every week or every 2 weeks in the chat locker to answer questions, as well as check out our travel videos. You'll see why we really enjoyed all the places that we've been, especially this past summer.
Yeah, it's been epic. It really has. And even some of the things that we think weren't epic, when you think back on it, they really were.
Oh yeah, when you reflect on things, and then even some of the downsides, you got to laugh at a little bit because you managed to pull it off.
Yeah.
So
part of being flexible.
Yeah. So anyway, thanks so much for joining us, y'all,
Thank
and
y'all.
we'll see you next week.